dying. Lord, have mercy on his soul, and cannot be disturbed. Can I take a message? Yes, you could speak to Mrs. Jackson Hubble if you'd like, but she's mad as a hatter, poor dear, and is liable to clip herself to death with scissors as not. Why don't you just give me the message? I am a trusted and beloved servant of many years' distinguished service. I first came to work for Mr. Jansen Hubble in early May 1942, during the war. It's a terrible war it was. I first came over from England on ship.
Margaret! Get back to the scullery. I've told you to keep to the kitchen and that Martin takes care of the living quarters.
Well, I don't see that he answered the phone, did he? The way he treated Martin with such kowtowing praise. You think he's the king of England or something?
Don't waste my time with your petty complaints. Just give me the phone and withdraw to the lower recesses of the house, please.
You can go straight to hell, missy!
Hello, this is Coral Tyne, Mr. Jansen Hubble's secretary. May I help you? What? You make what? Speak up. Light bulbs. Why are you calling me selling light bulbs? Because you're what? Try to enunciate, please. Hand what? Oh, handicapped. I see. Well, I'm sorry. I'm not interested. You should sell your light bulbs to someone else. Stop stuttering. Goodbye.
Miss Tyne, perhaps you should prepare Miss Jansen Hubble. Her son-in-law and granddaughter have just arrived.
If you mean Herbert and Margot, why don't you just say Herbert and Margot? Drop the formality, for God's sake.
I could never understand how Mr. Jansen Hubble could allow you to be so rude to me.
Oh, look, Daddy. The mansion's the same as it always was.
So few things change.
And there's Martin.
Hello, Miss Margot, Mr. Palm.
Martin.
You look much older, Martin. How is Granddad? Is he very bad?
Yes, he awaits death. He refuses his morning juice, and his chronic wince worsens.
Does Grandma know what's going on?
Well, Miss Jansen Hubble has feigned madness for so long that she barely has to feign it anymore.
Granddad hasn't been keeping her in the tower again, has he?
You must have fighted, Angel.
Granddad has such a cruel streak in him. Must be where my mother gets her meanness from. Martin, send for my grandmother from the tower, please.
I have already done so, Miss Margot.
Has Vivian arrived yet?
Not yet, Mr. Palm.
I don't much look forward to seeing my wife after all these years.
She's your ex-wife, just as she's my ex-mother. Grandma! What's the matter?
Margaret! I found her chewing on this when I went up there. I told you to make yourself sick.
Miss Tyne, please.
What do you want? Oh, it's Miss Margot. Are your two handsome brothers here yet?
No, they're not. Oh, why does everyone always favor my two brothers over me? They were always the pretty ones, the ones who were excused when they were bad, the ones who were loved. I want them.
Margot, please control yourself.
I'm sorry, Father. It must be the strain of Grandfather's oncoming death.
Margaret, Mrs. Jansen Hubble has spit something up. Wipe it up, will you please?
May your soul rot in hell, and the devils cause you unspeakable torment.
There is no hell, Margaret. I shall leave you to your memories. And Martin, please remove the rat.
Grandma, do you remember me? It's your little Margot. You remember me? Sit down. Let me look at you. Do you remember me? I remember you way before you first feigned madness. Do you remember that summer I was 15 and Daddy and I came to visit you right after he found me from the French orphanage my mother had put me in? And Granddad had just got the first of his secretaries. It was Miss Willis then, I think. Remember? And I remember asking you why Mama had put me in the orphanage like I didn't belong to her, just so she could go to Italy with her two boys, her two sons, my twin brothers. She left me there for 5 years, and I said to you, Grandma, will there ever be anyone in this world who will love me for what I am and not pity me? And you looked at me and you said, no. And I said, but Grandma, why? And you said, because there never was for me. Do you remember, Grandma? There never was for me!
Margot, please, Margot.
May I remind you that we have a dying man in this house! We must
just arrived. If you wish to avoid seeing her right away, may I suggest retiring to your room?
Yes! Yes, I think I might take a nap. It's been a tiring trip home, Margot.
Father, don't be afraid. You've got to face her. Don't worry, I'll help you.
There's plenty of time. I need a hot bath.
Why is he so weak?
Human nature, my child.
Mind your place, Martin.
They're coming. I saw them. The boys are here. As handsome as the day I saw them last or so.
Get back to the scullery.
Make eagles of the Lord tear out your heart and scatter it to the winds.
I've returned. How nice. The servants have gathered to greet us.
You look wonderful, ma'am.
Thank you, Margaret.
Superb, madam.
Do I really?
You do indeed.
Your father has expected you.
One always wants one's children at one's deathbed.
The boys look wonderful too, ma'am. As handsome as their mother is beautiful.
Thank you, dear. It's the Mediterranean sun, I expect. Men always look better tanned.
Hello, Mother.
You must be a new maid of father's.
I called you Mother.
Did you? Well, I can't be expected to listen to every word people say to me. Children, help me sit down.
I'm your daughter, Mother. How do you think I look?
I gave my daughter to a French orphanage many years ago. It was an act of kindness because I realized I had not the temperament to raise girls, as I did have the temperament to raise boys. My two fine boys. My twin stars. I expect the girl's still there, unless she drowned at sea or died in a car accident. As for your personal appearance, whoever you are, it is drab and depressing. Your entire demeanor is singularly unpleasant. The world is far too drab and depressing as it is. One should try to glitter to make up for it. But I have spent far too much time discussing appearance with a complete stranger and have ignored my mad mother. How are you, Mother? Do you have any lucid moments these days, or is it all a mist and haze? Oh, you've dribbled something on your nice morning frock. That should be. Miss Tyne, does Father know that Mother is out of the tower?
Your father is dying, Mrs. Palm.
That was not the question. The question was, does Father know that Mother is out of the tower, where it doesn't matter if she dribbles all over the sofa and the carpets? And do not refer to me as Mrs. Palm. I refer to myself by my maiden name of Jansen Hubble, a name you are quite familiar with, I'm sure, Miss Tyne. After all, you've been working under my father for many years now. His service, I mean.
Your father wished for you to greet your mother before I placed her back in the tower.
I think I've greeted her long enough. Haven't I, Mother? You're not going to be lucid, are you? There, you see, take her away, Miss Tyne. And Martin, you might run my bath. My legs always ache at this time of day. And Margaret, you may bring the boys some tea and graham crackers. You remember how fond Todd and Tim are of graham crackers.
Indeed I do, ma'am.
And Miss Tyne, could you relate to my father my wishes for his continued health, and that I shall see him after I take my bath?
Yes, Miss Jansen Hubble.
Mrs. Jansen Hubble. Miss Tyne. I have two sons, you're well aware.
Yes, Mrs. Jansen Hubble.
Well, children, I expect once the will is revealed, we can count on a good many more summers in Italy together.
Maybe he'll leave all his money to me.
Children, do you hear an additional voice? I hope I'm not losing my grasp like my poor lamented mother.
I'm sure you're perfectly sane, Mother.
Before I take my bath, we can have a nice chat about art and literature.
Mother, someday you'll be punished.
Tell me, Todd, about your new idea for a play. And Tim, why don't you sketch me? Mother listening to her sons.
I thought of it the other day when Tim and I were sunbathing. The play would deal with the society where the women were completely outlawed, except for a few captives who were allowed to have male offspring. They would be impregnated by artificial insemination, all except for one woman who the men worshipped as a goddess. You can pose for the goddess, Mother! We can do it in oils! And then in the evening, when the men would retire to their various chambers, the woman goddess would cry herself to sleep because none of the men would touch her.
What would the ending be?
I haven't thought of one yet. A bolt of lightning could kill everybody.
That's not one of my favorites. I prefer the one about the beautiful princess who has to choose between two wonderful princes and can't decide. So she runs off with both and lives happily ever after.
I never thought of that one.
I know, I just didn't. I love it.
Your bath is ready, madam.
Thank you, Martin. Children, you stay here for tea. Martin will help me to my room.
For a second, I thought I was included in the children.
Always in a time you're up for these petty jealousies, Margot.
Oh, so I'm actually going to get talked to, am I?
Only Mother's good at games. We are much more direct.
I'm bored already. Do you want to play potluck?
Why not? There is the phone.
Could I have the number of the A&P, please?
That's domestic.
It's just a game we play.
It's pretty good to be 26 and still be making prank phone calls.
There is no need to wallow in maturity.
Hello? Would you send a delivery boy out to the Jansen Hubble residence on Crestview Street? Just the sort of groceries will do. As much as you like. Yes. Oh, and tell him to use the front door. Yes. Yes. Thank you.
It seems a worthless joke to charge things to grandfather. He can certainly afford it, but after all, he is dying.
So aren't we all, sis?
So how's life been since we last saw you? Did you enjoy the orphanage?
You have grown up passively pretty, I see.
Not as pretty as you two, I'm sure.
Beauty, Margot, is in the eye of the beholder. Now, if the beholder doesn't take to you, don't blame us.
It's probably your glum and depressing demeanor.
Why shouldn't I be glum? I spent the early part of my childhood in some horrible institution while Mother told Father I was traveling the continent. Getting rid of me was like drowning a kitten to her.
You rather look like a drowned kitten.
Too big, cat!
I've read Freud. I know what psychological damage has been done to me. People shouldn't be allowed to have children until they've passed a test in psychology. Anyone who gets below a B- should be sterilized. My mother should be the one in that tower, not Grandma.
God will strike you dead if you talk that way!
God won't, but Mama sure as hell will.
Look, Margot, you're a very neurotic girl and you have some biological claim to be our sister, and we wish we could help you.
But we can't think of a gosh darn thing to say, so maybe you should go off and explain to your poor, silly father. If you're still here, I presume he can't be far away.
I never dreamed such wickedness existed!
To describe the everyday procedure of breathing, eating, and sleeping as wickedness bespeaks a parochial outlook and an alarming failure to grasp reality.
You're here.
And here's tea for my two handsome boys.
And here's Margaret, and God love her too.
We've missed you, Maggie. We've had many wet dreams over you.
Oh, Master Todd, what could you be thinking of?
You, Margaret, and can you blame us?
God bless you, Maggie.
Better be off with you now, lest we can control ourselves no longer.
Master Tim, are you flirting with me now?
Well, knowing Tim, you better not stick around to find out.
Oh, the Lord of the heaven, if this isn't a day!
She's more like a cow than I remembered.
Oh, is it potluck already? I bet it is. Blonde or dark?
Blonde.
All right, if it's blonde, it's yours. Oh, we'll get it, Martin. We're expecting someone.
Very well.
Ah, you've come at last.
Blonde, not too terrific. But that is potluck.
We haven't eaten since last Tuesday. What have you brought us?
I don't know. The manager packed it.
How clever.
Will that be cash or charge?
Charge. Of course.
Well, I'll just fill this out.
What's the hurry? Here, sit down. We can talk about life.
I have to get right back.
Relax.
Do you want to buy my sister? I heard she's a virgin.
You know, that might even be true.
Just let me fill out the charge form.
Hey, calm down.
Wait, I can hardly see without my glasses.
Young man. Perhaps you may see better without your glasses.
What?
You want to stay with us tonight? We all have a good time. Everybody needs a little friendship.
Just let me go.
If not friendship, money then. Hey, boy, look at me. Do you want to make some money? Do you understand me? We will pay you.
I can't see your expression clearly. If this is a joke, I can't tell.
Oh, throw him back in the bay. He's too small. Here are your glasses. Don't call us. We'll call you.
Obvious latent homosexual. Did you see the way he ran from the room?
I suspect he had acne on his back. Could I have the number of the Grand Union, please?
Dear Diary, I have just finished taking my bath and have hobbled to the this chair. Sometimes I feel the growing weakness in my legs. This creeping paralysis is God's judgment on me. But I won't accept that. I refuse to be judged, and I will enjoy this last part of my life. I will. I hated the first 20 years. My father was such an unpleasant man. Father is dying, by the way, and good riddance. I hope I get most of the money. New paragraph. I had the hiccups in the car on the way up here. Todd and Tim were very helpful. We tried holding my breath and we tried tickling me. And then we got in a car accident. And they went away. New paragraph. With great beauty comes responsibility. To look lovely, to be charming, to wear clothes well. I feel I've met this responsibility all my life, and so have my wonderful sons, Todd and Tim. I bought Todd and Tim matching olive swim trunks today and watched them swim. I wore a sweet and rather enormous caftan, $750. Neiman Marcus. Todd said I looked rather like a circus tent, but I feel he was being witty rather than nasty. How transitory is beauty. Perhaps that should be a new paragraph. New paragraph. How transitory is beauty. Here today, gone 40 years later. Perhaps, in my case, 50. Todd and Tim exercise constantly in front of mirrors. I have always loved mirrors because they tell the truth, and I am a great believer in the truth, at least when it comes to terms of my own physical beauty. I was the most beautiful young girl who ever lived. I hope you not think this is mere hyperbole, but I've made a list of the various men and women who've expressed ecstasy at my beauty over the past many years. And upon request, I will give the names and addresses of those people. A list that runs on for 300 pages. Single-spaced. Both sides. Dr. and Mrs. Francis Wallaby, Hampshire Castle, England. The Reverend Edgar Lancaster of St. Gertrude by the Tarn Church of the Martyrs, Melody Brook, New Hampshire. Dr. Harold Medderly, who treated me for social disease in 1947. The list goes on and on. Swati Ram Krishna, Wallace Bartholomew, and his mother, Dame Alice Bartholomew. And that drunken Irishman named Bucky or Bippy or something. Many, many people. New paragraph. Sometimes in the early mornings I feel a sadness. I know that. Later in the day I will visit my dying father or go to the hairdresser or watch Todd or Tim swim. But nowhere in my day do I experience a kind thought or a shared response or even just a simple gesture of relaxation. And I quietly mourn the fact that I've been cast to play the role I play, and I can't be someone more elevated, more hopeful, or even just more human. However, I suppose one can't have everything. I mean, I'm very beautiful and charming, and well, everyone likes me, and I should just be glad I'm not a blind person or an Avon representative or just someone who works as a clerk in an insurance company who dies at the age of 63. And so I stare out sometimes in the early mornings and relish my fleeting sadness. And I begin my day. New paragraph. I fear that God won't think I've been a good mother. I fear that his criteria of judgment may be limited, old-fashioned. I fear I will be punished. I fear I will be punished.
Why aren't you in the kitchen?
There are all those goddamn Boy Scouts in the kitchen. Mr. Jansen Hubble refuses to see them, and they say they won't leave until we give him some plaque or other.
I don't know anything about it.
I never saw the point in being a Boy Scout.
Margaret, please, I'm reading.
Oh, Father, there you are. I've got to talk to someone.
Margot, it's been a tiring day. I'm reading.
Oh, God, another scene. You're a very unbalanced girl. I've never liked you. But to be fair, I guess it must be hard to have to live up to two such wonderful people as your brothers.
Oh, why do you insist on thinking of them as wonderful, those two fags?
That's a nasty thing to say. You probably only accuse them of that because you fear it in yourself. Isn't that so?
Margaret, leave the study at once.
I don't see that you have no boyfriend unless you want to count your father.
Go to hell!
Margot, please, control yourself and calm down.
Father, I feel so upset seeing Mother and my two brothers again after all these years. I've hated them in the abstract for so long, it's almost disappointing not to find them superhumanly hateful. Will you stop that? Last night I had that awful dream again.
Margot, you work yourself up over nothing. Lots of girls dream they're Joan of Arc.
I don't mean the Joan of Arc dream. This is the one where I'm in the orphanage and I see my mother in a field with my two brothers canoeing. And rather than feeling angry at her for putting me in the orphanage, I just feel this terrible longing to be accepted by her, by them. And then I notice that I'm dressed like a boy and I've even grown a mustache. And so I go to my mother to show her that I turned into a boy, but then I notice that I'm still wearing lipstick and I try to wipe it off, but there's just so much of it. I can't get it off and I keep wiping it, and the three of them just laugh and laugh at me. And then they steer the canoe and it comes racing towards me to crush me. And an oar from the canoe hits me on the top of the head and it starts to beat me repeatedly, ecstatically. And then I wake up, trembling.
What do you want me to say? The oars have found a symbol. You should stay away from boating. Don't grow a mustache.
I feel such anger and unhappiness all the time. When you rescued me from the orphanage, I thought I was finally saved and that things would be all right. But they weren't. You don't hate Mother, and you don't like me. What am I to do? I've been seeing my psychiatrist for 3 years now, 4 times a week, and I don't feel any change. I feel such a prisoner to my past, and I have such a longing for normality. I see people on the street who eat in cafeterias and who go to parks and who have families and who aren't burdened with this terrible bitterness. And I want to be like them. So much. I want to be like them.
No one's gonna like you if you throw books, Margot!
That has nothing to do with this. I don't think you've even been listening.
How do you do? You must have come about my little dog.
Who are you?
Oh, you must be Margot. I'm Martin's niece, Mary Agnes Simpson. Okay. Doctor, there's been a terrible accident. My dog has been cut to pieces, and the pieces are on the bed. My husband says a roving band of little boys did it, but I don't believe him. I think he did it.
What are you talking about?
Oh, you're probably too sweet to understand. You see, he's done this as a cruelty to me. The sight was quite horrible. The dog's eyes were gouged out, and I found one eye in the bathroom glass. Lord knows where I'll find the other one. The dog's stomach was split open, and his innards were mixed with my canceled checks. It was quite peculiar. I didn't even cry out. I just said, my husband's done this. Oh, we're very eccentric, you see. Margot, dear, when Martin comes down, could you tell him I'd like to speak with him? Thank you for coming.
Wait, does Martin know you're here?
Don't clutch at me! Don't you clutch me! I will not be clutched at!
Oh my God! What's the matter? Help!
What is she doing here?
It's not one thing, it's another.
What shall we do?
Just give it a minute, it will pass. Aren't you ashamed? A girl your age, we're gonna have to keep a closer watch on you.
Oh, Skippy's dead! He's gone! My puppy's gone!
Yes, he's gone to puppy heaven. We need to face these things in life, Mary Agnes, and we need to believe that though things in life may seem terrible, they aren't really. Why, if I went about believing that things were as terrible as they seemed, I couldn't go on for more than a day. Now, Do you feel better?
Yes, Uncle.
How did you get here?
I parked my Volkswagen outside.
Yes, well, why don't you go get in it, go home, and see your husband. He's probably worried sick about you. Here, Margaret will help you to the car.
But he shouldn't have killed the puppy.
It was probably just an accident. Now, go on.
Well, can't I stay with you tonight?
No, dear, your husband will worry.
All right. Goodbye, everybody.
She's just newly married and having a little bit of trouble adjusting.
I think you handled that very well, Martin.
Oh, thank you. One learns to cope.
I never knew Martin had a niece.
Father, I want you to go right up to her and tell her you hate her.
Who, his niece?
No, my mother. Tell her, just so she knows.
She knows already.
Then why are you afraid to tell her?
Margot, you're spoiling my evening. I can't read. The Boy Scouts are here. We're peasants, epileptics. What can we be civilized?
She's the one who's not civilized. This is the woman who maimed me. I'm psychologically maimed.
You seem fine to me, dear.
Well, you don't see very well, do you?
Oh, there you are. I wonder if I might see you for a moment?
I'll leave.
No! I'd like to speak to both of you. I've just spoken to Mr. Jansen Hubble. He was in a wretched mood after all those Boy Scouts. And he told me that he plans to reveal his will tomorrow and that he intends to leave it all to Mrs. Palm. That is, to Vivian or Mrs. Jansen Hubble or whatever she's being called.
He has so much money. Surely he's leaving something for all of us.
No! He says he plans to show the injustice of the world through his will and leave it all to that awful woman. And I just feel so awful.
Excuse me.
I've worked for your grandfather for 12 years. When he first hired me, I slept with him only because I thought eventually he'd leave me some of his money. Not all of it, just some. It was so degrading. I don't like men much anyway, and your grandfather's mouth tasted like a septic tank. But I put up with his demands and perversions. I just kept thinking through it all. Someday it'll all be worth it. Someday I'll be rich and all my years of bitterness will be answered. And now I find he's planning to die and has no plan for me at all. None at all. I could have married a druggist back in Hightstown if it hadn't been for your grandfather. Oh, what am I going to do?
You're asking for sympathy for your own grief. People are responsible for their own actions, Miss Tyne. You can't blame my grandfather that you didn't marry a druggist. Money is so unimportant this time. It is love and affection that truly matters. Cover yourself with that thought.
Well, your mother's here to comfort you.
Is she? Are you, Mother? Are you going to be lucid, Mother, and touch my hair and say, Vivian, my daughter? Well, I thought not. Oh, Mother, do you think Todd and Tim love me enough, do you?
Of course they do. They love their mother.
But do they love me enough? That's what I wonder. It reminds me of my first child, Narcissus.
I don't remember your having another child.
Of course you don't, Mother. You're adult.
No, I mean, I don't remember your having another child.
Oh, but I did, Margaret. You can never know. My son Narcissus was the most beautiful boy I've ever seen in my life. More beautiful than Todd and Tim, even though I would never tell them that. His father was the north wind and Gulf Stream, and his skin was like pure alabaster, and his hair was black, like raven's feathers gone to heaven. He was my wonderful child, and every morning I'd wake my little boy up with kisses, and I'd say, who's the most wonderful son of the most wonderful mother in the entire world? And the answer was always Narcissus and Vivian. And I remember one day, Narcissus came home from nursery school with all of his jealous playmates following angrily behind him, envious of his alabaster skin and raven black hair. The children chanted cruelly, "Narcissus is a sissy! Narcissus is a sissy!" So I went into our little backyard and I bounced Narcissus on my shoulders and I said, "Narcissus is the most wonderful son in the world and Vivian is the most wonderful mother." We spoke of ourselves a lot in third person in those days. Mother, are you listening?
Yes, dear, I am.
But then, one day, Narcissus stopped responding fully. He would beam at my compliments to him, but he wouldn't return them. And I remember one day, we played our poem game down in the basement that went, "Tiger, tiger, burning bright, in the forest of the night, who's the fairest in the land?" And the answer was always Narcissus and Vivian. Vivian and Narcissus. But then, one day, Narcissus said, "The answer is me. Narcissus, not Vivian, just me." Well, it is intolerable not to have your love returned in kind. Your love should reflect right off another person and engulf you in a warm and glorious glow of light and love. But Narcissus didn't love me anymore, so I picked up a wrench and I hit him over the head, my child, and I wrapped his once beautiful body in newspapers, and I threw him in the garbage! In the garbage, you understand? Because, well, we all need love, you see. Sigmund used to say to me, "Vivian, you're a peculiar woman, and I don't like you much, but at least you don't repress your drives, and you deserve love." Oh, Sigmund. He wrote such beautiful waltzes. He was wrong, of course. I do repress my drives. Some of them. And I do deserve love, and well, I need it. Oh, Mother, do you love me? Do you love me really?
Of course I do. You're my daughter.
Oh, what an ingenuous response. You're my daughter. As if that were enough to ensure love. You have a sweet and uncluttered mind, Mother. Thank you so much for visiting me tonight in my sorrow. Margaret, you can take Mother back to the tower. I think I'll be able to sleep.
Yes, Mrs. Jansen Hubble. Sweet dreams. Come on, dearie.
Dear diary, I fear I'm not loved enough. I fear it. Todd, Tim, are you there? Are you there?
And the night passeth away, and the day cometh, and the sun also riseth. And throughout this mansion of life, the human imperfections of mankind reassert themselves.
Well, I should go.
Here's a 20.
Oh, gee, thanks a lot. Usually it's a 10 or even a 5. Would you like some green stamps?
Oh, we have plenty.
Oh, gee, thanks. We at Grand Union are pleased to serve you. Call again.
We'll remember.
Is that you, boys?
Yes, Mother!
Mother, I'd like you to meet Jack. He's a classmate from the school Tim and I went to for a week in Switzerland.
Oh, how do you do, Jack? I've met several of your other classmates, I believe.
Yes, well, I must be going. Excuse me.
Goodbye.
I thought I heard the three of you in there last night.
Perhaps Madam would like her room moved?
No, I like noises, as long as I know what they are. Like that! That's Margot discovering the dead body of her father.
Miss Time has hanged herself!
I was wrong. It was Miss Time. Well, why do you think she did it? Another death of depression case, or did she just get carried away putting on her tie?
Well, this comes as a surprise.
Mrs. Jansen Hubble predicted her death to me last night, before retiring.
And he did nothing to prevent it?
He's a dying man. What could he do?
Is there any coffee, boys?
I think I'd like to sketch you sipping coffee, Mother. I'd call it Goddess sipping coffee while awaiting the death of her father.
I like the goddess part.
It would make a wonderful greeting card.
Is no one going to do anything about the dead woman?
I will telephone the authorities.
Wait. Give me the key to the tower. I want to see Grandma.
Well, Miss Time keeps it around her neck, so you can get it later.
I fear I could have done something to help her last night and didn't. Father, quick, tell her.
Herbert, why you are here? Children, you've met your father. Herbert, you've met the boys.
They've grown.
Nonsense, you've just gotten smaller.
Father, tell her you hate her.
Herbert, you're remarkably silent after all these years. Have you nothing to say?
How's Europe?
Very pleasant. The boys had a great puberty there and such amazing tans. Todd, show Herbert your tan.
Father, please.
Herbert, can you not still this voice of conscience that keeps echoing throughout the room?
Oh, Vivian, how I hate you.
Oh, Herbert, I had no idea I still had control over you like that. Look, children, your father's come home to roost.
I hate you. I hate you all.
Oh, Herbert, we've had good times, haven't we? Scurrying the continent, knowing dukes and earls. Do you remember how you met me? I was just 14 and it was my first brothel. You were just 17 and it was your first brothel too. And it was my first night. And I remember the Madame Lahore, she said to me, she said, Vera, she got my name wrong even then. Vera, you'll turn many a trick in your day, but you'll never turn one like your first. And so my heart was aglow. And in your adolescent voice, you came up to me and you said, how much? And I thought that was the most romantic thing I'd ever heard. And so we retired to that little room with the cobwebs and the dank smell of urine, and we sat on the bed. Is this your first, I asked? And when you said no, I didn't believe you. And is this your first, you asked me. And when I said yes, you didn't believe me. And one of us was lying. And to this day, I still don't know which one it was. But that doesn't matter, because the night air was so fresh, and love was so new, and we were so young, so very, very young. And then you began to very methodically take off my clothes, which were soaked in perspiration from my busy day and from so many other bodies. And then I began to bite your buttons off one by one, and your eyes grew larger at every pop. And then I took off your pants. And I was very young, you understand. I'd never seen a man, not even a statue of one, because, well, we didn't have museums in those days, and I wouldn't have gone even if they had. And then your slender form got on top of my slender form, and then when it was all over, and I looked into your blue eyes were blue then, and I said in the pale, frightened voice of a schoolgirl, Herbert, it is you I love. Do you remember, Herbert? Herbert! Children, I think your father's fallen asleep. Herbert! Herbert! Ah! Has he had a stroke? Do you think it's a stroke?
Your father is about to die, madam. He wishes to see you.
Oh dear, do I look all right?
You look wonderful, Mother.
Beautiful, dear.
Thank you, dears. Martin, help me.
Why does Father only have one arm?
I don't know. War wound, I suppose. Todd,
Yes?
about last night, I felt sort of funny. I mean, I'm used to having a third nimbus and all, but last night I sort of got the feeling he preferred the Grand Union to me.
Are we gonna go through this routine again? You're just as bad as Mother. You think you have to be worshipped all the time.
I don't want to be worshipped. I just want to know where we stand.
Oh, Tim, I hate this. You're my brother. I like you better than anyone except myself. But that doesn't mean I want a little variety from time to time.
Oh, I think you're promiscuous.
Little hypocrite. Potluck is your game anyway. You invented it.
Oh, go to hell.
Don't take it so hard. My wanting a little variety doesn't mean that I choose that grocery boy over my own brother. Now, let's shake hands and just forget about it.
All right.
Oh, now isn't that nice? Brothers shaking hands. Here, I brought some tea for my handsome boys. What's the matter with your father?
He just seems to be a little tired.
It seems Granddad's about to kick off.
Is he now? Well, that'll be nice for him. No ends in senseless suffering.
No, no by definition.
That'll make 2 deaths today. What's with that awful Miss Time bumping herself off? I never liked her, haven't for 12 years. Won't start now that she's dead. I'm no hypocrite. Oh, she rots in hell.
Ooh, she seemed a mean sort.
Oh, she was. Not a kind word for anybody. Certainly not for me. Such a slanderous tongue she had, and a filthy mind to boot. Do you know what I heard her say to Martin after setting eyes on you two?
No. What?
She said, those two is queer as the day they was born. And she said that being queer was one thing, and that incest was another, but to combine the two was a truly appalling perversion. And right she was, and a sick mind she had to even think of such a thing. God bless her guardian angel for seeing she hung herself. She's happier dead than alive, brooding on such thoughts.
Ooh, she had a sick imagination.
And I said to myself that even if you boys were acting a little funny together, it was only because a proper feminine companionship hadn't offered itself to you yet. I mean, after all, with your mother around all the time, I mean, a body is going to get pent up. We all have energies, and I thought to myself, seeing how much I like the both of you, I might be able to help you over this little hump in your lives, if you follow my meaning. When speaking of this and knowing you two like I do, you probably will be kind, right?
Oh my god!
You bastard!
Oh, we're running under the top, love!
Makes me Peter piss on your grave! What's the matter? Who's hurt?
Margaret just sat on attack.
What's the matter with father?
Mother thinks he might have had a stroke.
A stroke? Did anyone call the doctor?
A minute ago, you told us you hated him. You're not very consistent.
Oh, please, he's all I've got.
Children, your grandfather has just died. He's left all of his money to me and wishes all of us ill. He was a mean-spirited man and remained so till the end.
Martin, call a doctor for my father.
That won't be necessary. Martin, Herbert is dead too. I felt a spirit leave him in the middle of my remembered youth.
He's all I have. He's all I have.
He's all you had, Margot. Now you have nothing. You see, Margot, only the strong survive. I'm amazed Herbert lasted as long as he did. I think your strength kept him alive for a while. For although I don't like you much, you do have some strength, but I guess that wasn't enough, and now he's dead.
What am I to do?
Leave my sight forever. Attach yourself elsewhere, and remember, I placed you in an orphanage once. Don't tempt me to do it again. Come, Tim, sketch your mother in mourning, and try to write a poem about your mother in grief.
I hate you, Father. You're weak. Grandma! Grandma!
It will have been an emotionally exhausting day, I fear.
Grandma! Grandma! They're both dead and I hate them both! Oh, please be lucid. I know you're only pretending to be crazy. Grandma, say something. I don't know what to do. I don't feel strong anymore. Say something. Do you remember when I was a little girl? You made me cookies the day you went crazy and you said to me, Margot, whenever things get you down, just have a nice glass of milk and a couple of cookies. And then right after that, you went crazy. Do you remember? Grandma, say something. Please. Say something.
Don't depend on people. 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 Don't depend on people.
Don't move, Mother! I can't sketch you! I think you should get rid of Margaret.
Whatever you think best, dear. You know, as your grandfather died, he called me evil. He even said he was evil. But I don't think people are evil, really. I think we're all just misguided. Because, well, everybody wants love. That was Miss Time's problem. She wanted money. If she wanted love instead, think of how happy she would have been. Of course, Everyone has a right to expect love. Everybody wants love. What's that famous poem? It's love, it's love, it's love, it's love. Of course, not everyone can have love. Take Margot. I was never meant to love her. She's a well-meaning thing by all means, but I had my boys and my own life. And she was conceived by mistake as a means to facilitate sleep. Oh well. Your father lost his boyish charm as time went on. It's been a hard day. We will relax tonight, and tomorrow we will return to the continent. This house has too many memories.
Do you want anything from the supermarket?
I think there's plenty in the kitchen.
Do you?
What's the matter with leftovers?
Leftovers are warm, cozy, and a comfort. But fresh food adds spice to any table.
Children, mother hates metaphor.
All right, but not the Grand Union. Is that understood?
Suits me. We haven't tried to stop and shop.
Maybe East Haddon doesn't have a stop and shop.
Very well. We can phone from upstairs.
Children, I think there's plenty of food in the kitchen.
The food in the kitchen is burned, Mother.
See you later, Mother.
Good night, my twins. Rejoice in being two. For loneliness is a terrible thing. My children are so artistic. Wonderful children of a wonderful mother. I can't help feeling sorry, though, that they're not really a bit nicer. However, I'm not all that nice either, I suppose, by some people's standards. But I don't think one should criticize. Let he who is without sin cast the first stone, Christ said. So they tell me. Todd and Tim, so lucky to be two. I even rather wish Herbert were alive tonight. Oh well, one does the best one can, and if you're lonely one moment, you forget it the next. So it can't be too bad because you forget it. Yes, I think that's the way it is. I am so lonely. Maybe one day I'll forget that I am so